The world was going through a disease. Our country, India, what disease was it? We have patients with all kinds of diseases. Every chronic disease from childhood to the age of 100 is treatable in homeopathy. That is to say, man is inherently a social animal.
Hello, welcome to Digitalks. Today we are going to meet Dr. Raj Bondre, who is an MD in homeopathy and also a gold medalist. He has been practicing in Jalna for the past 10 years. He has treated more than 15,000 patients so far. He has patients not only in India but also abroad. Through online consultations, Dr. Raj provides them with treatment. Today, we are going to learn from him about his experiences, the benefits of homeopathy, and his special relationship with his patients. So, let's meet Dr. Raj.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
I am Dr. Raj Bondre. I have been practicing in Jalna district for the past 10 years, and not just locally, but I also see international patients through online consultations. We get patients with all kinds of illnesses. From young children to people aged 100, every chronic illness is treatable with homeopathy. Today, we are going to discuss a condition called ADHD that occurs in children.
That's really great, sir. Sir, as you mentioned, today we are going to discuss ADHD. So what causes ADHD?
Madam, that's a good question. ADHD means attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Now, you might have read in the papers recently, Aliabat and ADHD, something you may have read. So, friends, what this means is that it's not just found in adults, but the root causes of it actually lie in childhood. And nowadays, we see this disorder quite often in very young children. You might notice around you that there are very young children who can't sit still in one place. They can't focus on their studies. If you tell them to do something, they don't listen. They're very stubborn. They can't concentrate. Their speech is delayed. And even if you tell them something, they can't understand it or respond appropriately after understanding. So many such common symptoms are often seen in ADHD.
Sir, what exactly is the root cause of ADHD?
Madam, ADHD is a disorder. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder. What does neurodevelopmental mean? Neuro means related to your mind. Developmental means just as a child develops, it is also related to that development. So many disorders fall under this category. One of them is ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. In this disorder, as I mentioned earlier, the child is unable to pay attention. There is an attention deficit. And along with that, the child is hyperactive. The exact cause of this is not known, but sometimes the reason can be found in the pregnancy history. Sometimes the cause can be related to the child's development. That is, as I will explain further, when you tell me about the child's development from the very first day up to 6, 7, or 8 years old, everything that has happened in their life each day, that too can be a factor in this problem. The third main reason we see these days is screen time. So these are the three main reasons. We will look at these three reasons from different perspectives as we continue in the podcast, madam.
Sir, you just mentioned that children these days can't sit still even for 10 minutes or they don't listen to anything. Screen time has increased a lot, so what happens with young children is that as soon as they turn 2 or 3 years old and it's time to eat, parents immediately hand them a phone. In this, the rest of society says that your child is spoiled or doesn't listen to you or is always crying. Because of this, even parents go into depression. They too end up crying. Are there any treatments for these children in homeopathy?
Yes, madam. ADHD, now as I mentioned, there are three causes for it. I'll get to your answer with the third cause. Let me start with the first cause. The first cause is that during pregnancy, due to some habits of the mother, the child can develop ADHD. For example, if the mother has a habit of consuming alcohol or smoking during pregnancy, then the child can develop ADHD. Excessive screen time during pregnancy. If the mother watches too many series, reels, then the child can develop ADHD. Secondly, friends, another reason is the difficulties in development. Understand that in a child's development, if from the very first day there is excessive pampering, and whenever the child insists on something and it is immediately fulfilled, then such a child develops a stubborn nature, and that stubborn nature can eventually, at some point, turn into ADHD. And the third reason I told you about is screen time. As Madam mentioned, what happens is that nowadays parents don't have time. Mothers have to go to work and fathers have to go to work too. There are no grandparents at home, they live in the village. So, in such situations, if the baby starts crying, the mother says, "Here, watch the mobile and eat your food." To make the child eat, the mother gives him the mobile. A mother's profound love is such that she deeply desires her child to eat, but she doesn't fully realize that this very same overwhelming love within a mere year could potentially give her beloved child a serious illness. Later, the child tragically doesn't speak at all, doesn't make any eye contact whatsoever, can't sit still in one place for even a moment, becomes incredibly hyperactive, and then eventually they can't even send the child to school, which is truly heartbreaking. All these symptoms are seen in ADHD.
And today, I believe that one of the main reasons for this is screen time. Very well said, sir. Sir, you mentioned that screen time is affecting these children. So could you explain in a bit more detail how screen time impacts ADHD?
Madam, you have raised a very important point. See, what happens is that our world, our country, India, has just gone through a disease. Which disease was it?
Corona.
What happened during Corona? There was a lockdown, and man is a social animal, meaning humans are social beings, and what was done to them? His movement was restricted. Having to stay in a room, stay isolated, stay alone. At such times, the babies who were born, do we see a lot of ADHD in those babies? Because during that time, mothers had no other option, so they gave their children a lot of mobile phones. And in the past year alone, I have seen at least 500 ADHD patients whose illness is virtual autism, and the reason is screen time. The ADHD seen in those children is solely due to screens. So what they were telling me is to notice how the relationship with screens appears. Those children for 2 or 3 years did not meet anyone because they were confined to their homes. The mother was afraid that if the child went outside, they would catch COVID. So what would the mother do? She would say, "Stay at home, child, watch your mobile, watch TV, or listen to the news." They would just sit and watch the news. And for the first year, 2 years, 3 years, those children only watched TV. And now, when it was time to send them to school in the 4th year, those children have become very hyperactive. There's no eye contact, there's a lot of hyperactivity, a lot of stubbornness and obstinacy, there's no understanding. These are all symptoms we're starting to see in those children. So, is the reason for this found in their pregnancy history? No. Do you see any reason for these things in that? It's just screen time in early age, so it's a developmental disorder. In the first 3 years, the child's brain was exposed to too much screen time, and because of that screen time, the child developed ADHD.
Sir, how can parents recognize that their child has ADHD? What are the symptoms of this?
That's a very important question, madam. What happens is, if you tell a child to sit here, he is unable to sit still in that place. He keeps running here and there repeatedly, running, jumping, playing. One of the things is restlessness. The second thing is low concentration on one thing. Now, suppose he is playing with a toy. How long does he play with that toy? Usually, if you give a child a toy car, their interest in it lasts for at least 2 to 3 days, but that's not the case with ADHD. 10 minutes and he's on to the next toy. In just 10 minutes, he moves on to another toy. Very capricious, very restless. So the second symptom I mentioned was low concentration. The third is violentness, rage, anger. What does that mean? It means that these children experience anger much more intensely. When we scold a child, they usually get momentarily angry, but in this case, the anger is also momentary. But the intensity of it is extremely explosive. They might bang the phone, throw things around, or break their toys. This anger, this rage is a result of the hyperactivity, not something inherent to the child. That's the third symptom. The fourth symptom is that whatever he studies, he can't remember it. Or rather, what he reads doesn't even register in his mind. He is not able to understand. There's no understanding. You should realize how significant this symptom is, how serious this condition is. The fifth symptom is seen in some children, as I mentioned to you, those who have had problems due to corona. ADHD is seen in those children, and their speech is delayed. They are unable to speak. Speech is a very significant thing. We often see speech delay. They are unable to say even mom or dad. Just imagine how much pain those parents must feel. It's my own child, isn't it? And yet they don't call me mom. This pain is alleviated by homeopathic medicine. Within a year, the child starts to speak. Speech becomes normal, and once the child starts speaking, they begin to understand what you teach them. The child can go to a regular school, and this transformation is brought about by homeopathic medicine. I have made this change happen in many children. There are many such videos available on our YouTube channel, madam.
Very nice, sir. Sir, is ADHD just hyperactivity or is it the restlessness within the child? How is this identified in homeopathy?
Madam, what happens is the external form of ADHD is hyperactivity, meaning very, very hyperactive. Parents feel that their child has a lot of energy, is hyperactive, but the reason for this is rooted inside. Inside, there are many things. The child has fears, stubbornness, anger, rage, and all of this develops as part of their growth. From the very first day, it's in their genes. If the mother is short-tempered, then the child is bound to be 50% short-tempered as well, right? But the training those genes receive from day one, the operant learning that happens, means that after the child turns 2, they start to become a bit more aware. If there are constant clashes between the parents, anger, quarrel, this causes problems. This also causes problems in the child. It creates feelings of fear, hatred, and anger in the child's mind. Because of these emotions, the child can even develop disorders like ADHD.
Very nice, sir. Sir, when it comes to young children, if they like something, they want it immediately, they want it right away. Otherwise, they shout, cry, or throw tantrums for that thing. So, is this the parents' fault, or could these be symptoms of their ADHD disorder?
In ADHD, you just have to judge the intensity, because stubbornness is present in every child. But if the child has an outburst when their demand isn't met, then it can be ADHD. So friends, my audience, parents, I want to tell you that if your child is having intense outbursts of anger, stubbornness, or insistence, then that's the child's issue. You're not doing anything wrong. You should consider that your child might have ADHD. It's because of this condition that the child is being stubborn. It's because of this condition that the child is being obstinate. And if this condition is treated with homeopathy, then your child will become less stubborn, less angry, and less obstinate. The good parenting you are already doing will help your child become more mature, sincere, honest, and non-violent, with less anger, less resentment, and less stubbornness. Your parenting will have the positive effect on your child that you desire, but only if their ADHD is brought under control.
So, doctor, there are some children who are very intelligent, but they just can't concentrate on their studies. Are there any remedies for this in homeopathy? Not only do they help with focus, but they also help calm the child.
Madam, what happens is that many parents come to me and say, "Sir, my child is now in 1st or 2nd grade. I feel like you should help increase their focus. Can you help improve their concentration in studies?" My first answer is that I have no interest in increasing your child's focus, and that's not something I can do. But what I can do is something that will automatically increase their focus in everything. What is that? What happens in ADHD is that there are many things going on in their mind in parallel. This is a very intelligent kid. They have so much energy that at a time their attention is on 100 different things. What medication does is that we increase their stability and reduce the chaos going on in their mind. Then automatically, whether it's their studies, their work, their sports, or their art, we try to help them reach a higher level in each of these areas. Why? Because if homeopathic medicines can truly help to correct their ADHD, then their focus absolutely increases by 100%.
So, doctor, some children are very mischievous, and because of that, even relatives avoid coming home, which leads the parents to go into depression or feel guilty. So, what is the solution for this?
Madam, you are absolutely right. Many parents come to me and say, "Sir, I have stopped inviting my friends over to my house. Sir, I have stopped inviting relatives to my home as well. Sir, I don't even visit relatives anymore because when asked, they say my son is so extremely mischievous. I actually feel guilty. Sometimes my wife and I cry in solitude." So friends, all of this is happening to him because of that illness. You should understand that if we address this illness, he will become normal and your parenting will have an effect on him. So don't worry, don't feel guilty. We are with you. I salute your efforts because taking care of a child with ADHD is very difficult. I am giving you as much energy as I can so that you can use this energy to boost your own and take care of your child. Because this parenting is a very difficult job that you are doing. If only you get the support of homeopathy with this, your progress will be much faster. Your child will also make good progress.
Sir, do children with ADHD show any different symptoms, like having dreams or being afraid of certain things? There are some other things that are observed in them as well. So, in homeopathy, are these symptoms given attention?
It's very important. What happens is that homeopathy not only finds out symptoms from the conscious mind, but also from the subconscious. What does that mean? Look, we have seen that your child is just being hyperactive. We've noticed the stubbornness. We've seen the anger. But where is the source of this? Where is it coming from? We look for that source in their subconscious. There are two ways to access the subconscious. Number one is fear, and the second important one is dreams. So, what kinds of fears are there? When a child is young, they have fears. For example, sir, my child is afraid of exams. Many children have exam anxiety, and then there are other common fears as well. My child simply won't go into the dark. My child is afraid of small bugs, insects, and animals. My child is scared of pet animals. My child simply cannot stay without me, without their mother. Fear, being alone, there can be many such fears. The second path is dreams. Sometimes children have dreams. You may have noticed that children with ADHD are asleep at night. Suddenly they wake up from their sleep. They just don't stop. Parents come to the hospital at night and the child literally has to be given sleeping pills for them to calm down. This is called night terror, and this too is seen in children with ADHD because you can see that their mind is restless even during the day. Where will this nighttime restlessness show up? So even in their dreams, this is very hyperactive and he is getting frightful dreams. He is having such frightening dreams, so he wakes up screaming, and once he wakes up screaming, he can't be controlled, which is why he has to be given sleeping pills and such. But in homeopathy, there is also a good medicine for such night terrors. Let me tell you what else can be observed subconsciously in children in this context. Number one is bruxism. Many children have the habit of grinding their teeth. That habit of grinding teeth is also a form of fear. Bruxism. After that, we see bedwetting. The mother says, even though my child has grown up, he still wets the bed at night. The reason for this also lies in the subconscious. Only if that subconscious reason is properly addressed can the bedwetting be resolved.
So, sir, if there is a child who is very hyperactive, how do you check that with homeopathy?
Madam, the thing is, we need to look for the cause of the hyperactivity. Now, suppose you are seeing a child who is just 4 years old. You see, how many years has it been since birth? 4. But we don't consider that we also need to look at the 9 months of pregnancy. If during pregnancy, the mother experienced a lot of stress, if there were frequent arguments between the mother and father during pregnancy, if the mother had a lot of work pressure and took on a lot of stress, or if incidents occurred during pregnancy, like problems with in-laws or relationship issues that caused her significant mental stress, then that stress also reaches the baby. This is the cause related to pregnancy. The second reason is when the baby is 1 or 2 years old, you might think that the baby can't hear or see much or that their hearing is limited. These are the kinds of symptoms you notice. But if the parents are constantly arguing, that sound reaches the baby's ears, goes to their brain, and then certain things develop in their brain which can eventually turn into illness. That's precisely why the crucial journey of parenting truly commences from the very first day of pregnancy. I firmly assert that as soon as a pregnancy officially begins, that is precisely when the potential onset of various illnesses and related conditions also typically begins. So if you really want to be a good parent, what you need to do is start making changes in your parenting from the very first day. If you want to become a parent yourself, then you need to be especially careful not to argue with each other as much as possible so that such things don't reach your child and they don't suffer from that illness.
Sir, as you mentioned that you have more than 15,000 patients, out of them, how many parents have admitted that they too make some mistakes, have understood those mistakes, and in homeopathy, can this be referred to as guilt or anger?
What happens, madam, is that many parents in the beginning feel that their child is so naughty that they need to scold or hit them. So they keep hitting and troubling the child, but nothing improves, and then they start feeling that their child is beyond hope. So this situation creates a kind of sorrow in their hearts. But when they realize that their child isn't actually naughty, it's the illness that's making him act this way. It's because of this illness that he behaves like that. And when this illness is treated with homeopathy, many parents have come to meet me and said, "Sir, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Today, I held my child close and said, "Son, I was wrong. I misunderstood you. I misunderstood you because of this illness. You had the symptoms of this illness, which is why you were hyperactive, stubborn, and irritable." They come to realize their mistake, and homeopathic medicines can make all this possible.
Doctor, what exactly is the difference between autism and ADHD?
Autism spectrum disorders are a separate section and they fall under neurodevelopmental disorders. ADHD involves hyperactivity, while autism includes many different aspects. In autism, the first thing is a lack of eye contact, and second is pattern behavior. For example, I have a patient whose pattern is that every day he must say bye bye to the watchman. If he doesn't say bye bye, he becomes so stubborn and adamant that it's difficult for his parents to control him. So he is following this pattern every day in his life. That pattern must not be broken. His things must be kept exactly as they are. His bag must be placed in the same spot. He needs that pattern. After that, he starts jumping around like a spring. He jumps up and down in one place. Jump, 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 jump. You get to see this in autism. After that, there's no speech. Speech is a major problem in autism. There are also very good medicines for this autism condition in homeopathy. Within a year, you can see 70 to 83% improvement in your child.
That's really great, sir. And sir, what other conditions in children do you treat?
In homeopathy, there are medicines for all kinds of illnesses in young children. Today, we discussed neurodevelopmental disorders, including ADHD and autism. We also work with many children who have conditions like cerebral palsy. In developmental delay, children are unable to walk or speak. Speech delay is part of developmental delay, which means late learning, late walking, and late talking. That is, children start talking late, walking late, and even have delayed dentition. In such cases too, homeopathic medicines can bring very fast results. Along with this, there are other illnesses in young children. Some people have very recurrent tonsillitis. There are adenoids and operations are performed for them. In homeopathy, there is no need for tonsil operations. They can be cured with medicines alone. Then there is stammering while speaking, getting stuck, or speaking with a stutter, as we say. There are good medicines available for that. We talked about bedwetting, and if there are worms in the stomach, there are deworming medicines. And even for acute conditions, homeopathy has very good medicines. When the child gets a fever, and you see that as soon as the mother gives medicine, the child immediately vomits it up. So homeopathic medicines are easy to take. The fever comes down quickly and easily. It is very comfortable and soothing. Whether it's a skin disease or any illness in small children, homeopathy has many treatments. You can consult with us online or come to the clinic for an appointment.
If any parents are watching this podcast and notice symptoms of ADHD in their children, what should they do for them?
Number 1, start homeopathic treatment. With homeopathy, your child will be cured from the root cause. What happens with ADHD is that if you don't address it in childhood, even as the child grows up, they won't be able to achieve the focus needed for their studies and they won't get the results they desire. If treatment is given at a young age, ADHD will not convert into anxiety or panic disorder as the child grows older. Number 1. Number 2, the life that is currently being affected by ADHD, your self-respect, your mindset, will improve with homeopathic medicines. Because when your child improves, your own mindset will also improve.
Sir, if someone is showing symptoms of ADHD, what precautions should their parents take? Are there any methods or specific foods that should be avoided or consumed for their children, which might help reduce the severity of the condition?
There are 3 things. The third one is very important. Let me tell you the first one. All sugar should be completely stopped. All sweet foods should be entirely avoided. We've observed that sweet foods significantly increase hyperactivity in children. For all my young patients, the first thing I do is stop sweets. If there is hyperactivity, what should be done in this case? Give natural fruits. They contain natural fructose, which will not cause hyperactivity. Secondly, all types of Maggi, tutti frutti, and all of these processed foods should be stopped because these fast foods are directly linked to many serious illnesses. The third thing, which is very essential for good health, completely stop using mobile screens and watching TV. If you don't stop them, it's like you're poisoning your child with your own hands. I say this in these very words. You might feel a bit bad, but if you stop your child's screen and mobile usage, remember, you'll start seeing changes within just 3 months. And if you start homeopathic treatment along with it, your child will become natural within 7 to 8 months. just like you gave birth to them, sir.
So, for the children who had ADHD and whom you have brought out of this situation, what can you tell us about them?
I'll take the example of one patient. That patient took treatment from me for almost 2 years. When he first came, he couldn't understand what I was saying and he wouldn't even look in the direction I was speaking. So there was no eye contact. Secondly, he was extremely hyperactive. He would wander around here and there in the clinic. I even felt like he was about to break my own laptop. That much hyperactivity. Third thing, he was extremely stubborn. His mother told him to sit down, but he just wouldn't sit, not following any type of order. He had all the symptoms. The very first symptom, the one in which we look for changes after medication, is that his hyperactivity should decrease. Only if his hyperactivity decreases will he be able to understand what you are teaching him. So, in the first 2 to 3 months, his hyperactivity decreased, but it did not stop completely. Okay, next thing, gradually his eye contact increased. He had never looked into the eyes of the mother who gave birth to him. He started looking into his mother's eyes. Next, when he came to me, he also made eye contact with me. That was a very happy moment for me. The third thing, you saw his hyperactivity earlier, how he used to wander here and there, breaking my laptop. Now, when I tell him to go and weigh himself, she went and weighed herself. Do you see what she did? She followed the order, which means now she understands as well. This same patient's video, just as I described, is available on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. I remember what the mother said. Let me tell you, on the last day, the mother said to me, "Sir, you have helped me like Swami Samarth." I just told her that a doctor is only a channel of energy. The one who gives is him alone. Friends, just give this energy of homeopathy to your child. Definitely watch, you will see a change in your child. There will be a change in your family and the progress that your family is meant to achieve. Towards that progress, happiness, and joy, you, your family, and your child will reach there 100% with the help of our homeopathic treatment.
Thank you so much, Raj sir, for coming here today and guiding our parents about ADHD. You explained to our young children and gave them information about the illnesses they have. Heartfelt thanks for guiding the parents about the happiness they have.